Brothers, sisters, welcome to today's video. I got a match for you against Justabomb, who is a great commentator. If you haven't heard of him, check him out. I'll leave his link in the video description. Now, I brought along a couple of new sets I wanted to try out. I brought along the physical Executor with it's got like the standard harvest citrus berry thing, but I thought I'll just slap on a couple of physical moves and like substitute and see how it goes. I got my specially defensive Illumise and my physically defensive Kabuto, which surprisingly is actually a pretty good core. They cover each other's weaknesses pretty well, but yeah, first turn I am going to lead with my Lopunny as he leads off with, well, I forget, but we'll see in a sec. I kind of figured that Lopunny would be a good lead in any case. Turned out Butterfree is the lead, and that definitely works out for me. Gonna do whatever Lopunny does in every situation, which is just go for a substitute on the first turn as he goes for the sleep powder. That is ideal. I can now go for the copycat, take that sleep powder back and just put this thing to sleep, get out of the way. Now I see Butterfree sometimes run like dual spore sets and then they U-turn out, and it's just sort of like a first turn trolling focus sash thing to cripple the other team, but I don't know what kind of set this is because some of them are set up, some of the trolls, like I say, but I am going to go to my Monferno here because either way, it takes anything and, you know, I resist his main stab and I'm behind the sub, so that is absolutely ideal. Now it turns out he is asleep for, I think that was 3 turns, so he definitely got a bad roll on the dice there, but like I said, I don't know what he could have done to me, so I don't know if it's crucial. And he doesn't have a focus sash, I thought that was weird, but yep, in any case, in comes the Samurott, and I'm not worried whatsoever because I do have the HP Grass. Now, I assume he did this because, like, if he knew my full set, he would have gone straight to Munchlax, but I would imagine that he was scouting for the close combat, which is one reason why he wouldn't go into the Munchlax, but, you know, that is perfectly reasonable. But now he sees that I have the HP Grass. He probably suspects that I don't have the close combat, so he goes into Munchlax. I can easily take any special hit, even the Vacuum Wave, which I'm not going to even bother revealing because there's no point in trying to get extra damage at this point. But yeah, I'm going to get Whirlwinded out, no problem. I'm going to get Whirlwinded into my Pikachu, but this is a problem because Pikachu is paper thin and I do not want to take a Body Slam from a Munchlax, so going to go straight back to Executor. I know it has good physical bulk, so I can easily take a Body Slam. He does get the para, but don't know if that's too crucial. I think I do get fully paralyzed on the next turn, but probably wouldn't have OHKO'd this thing, unless I went for Nature Power, but hey, if I went for Nature Power, I wouldn't have been able to use my custom background, so it's a win-win situation, right? Gonna go out into my Monferno, because either he Signal Beams or he HP Ices, or he makes a good play and goes for Volt Switch, but I figured he'd go for the safe play. Now, I can double out into my Lopunny because I want to see what it goes into to try and take on my Monferno. And it turns out Dwebble comes in just to try and get us some hazards or whatever. Now Dwebble, I imagine it will run the same set as Crustle, which I think is normally like... Well, I've seen a couple of people run Custard Berry on Crustle, although if it's Dwebble it might be a Violite, but point is, all it's going to be is just hazards and then like 1 or 2 attacks, so... Goes for the rocks, and I'm just going to Encore him into that. I think that was the only move he hadn't seen on my set so far. But honestly, like, anyone watching this, please, I beg you, try this Lopunny set. It is unbelievably good. Like, it has no attacking moves, but you'd be amazed at how useful it is in NU. With the number of slow things you've got going around, well, slow in comparison to this thing, and the fact that it can take most special hits at least, it's pretty damn good. And you can always get up, like, rocks of your own like that. And you can always sort of get these random heal bells or like a wish or something. Just like, it's like a wild card move. Someone asked me in my last battle why I use Copycat so much. It's like the wild card, people never expect it, and it always gets you out of sort of tight situations when you need it, so... Gonna go into my Executor. I kind of thought he would overpredict there and go for something else, so... I stay and go for an HP Ice, thinking he would Volt Switch into the Superior. Turns out he goes for T-Bolt. That is equally fine, I don't mind. So now he brings in the Dwebble. I'm going to go back to little old Kabuto here. Look at him, look how cute this little thing looks. And it gets Rapid Spin, so you can't argue with that. Rapid Spin, Scold, Rock Slide, Stealth Rock. It's a perfect physical wall to go with Illumise, right? And the fact that Illumise gets Wish, so I can easily get this thing back up to full if I want. So next turn, I Rapid Spin away the rocks, he Toxics me, not really too worried about that. Then he randomly goes to Electabuzz. I don't know what he was predicting, but just gonna go for a Scold and take this thing out. I guess he thought he could live. I guess Kabuto doesn't have much special attack, but whatever, in comes the Superior. Definitely do not want to be staying in here as I cannot do anything to it. Just gonna go straight to Lopunny. Now what I didn't realise is that I'm so sort of like biased towards Lopunny. Like, I have absolute faith in Lopunny in any battle, but I thought I would actually outspeed this thing. Turns out Superior is actually quite a bit faster, so I do Encore it into the Dragon Pulse, which does next to nothing to me. I don't know why I went for Dragon Pulse, but yeah, I go for that, and then I can go back into my Illumise, which is specially defensive. I got Bug Buzz, I got Wish, Toxic, sorry not Toxic, T-Wave, which I go for on this turn, and Encore. It's not a bad set, it does get good special defense. But I assume he knows the T-Wave is coming, so he's going to go out into his Munchlax, which is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the slowest Pokemon in the game, so he is not going to worry too much about the T-Wave, although ironically it does come to bite him in the ass a bit later on, as you'll see. But T-Wave that's fine. Probably has Rest, but, you know, he's not going to go for it straight away, I imagine. So I go out into my Kabuto. Don't know what he went for, but Body Slam wouldn't have done too much if he did go for that. So now I got a free chance to do whatever. I think I'll just go for a Rock Slide just to get damage on it. It has much better special defense than physical, so go for that Rock Slide, get a good bit of damage on the incoming Samurott, more than I expected, and the problem now is that he can easily go for a sub, and I can't break it, so just gonna go back to Illumise. Now the great thing about stuff like this, like I always like to use these Pokemon with random moves that you don't necessarily expect, and Encore's one of them. Encore's a move I love. Encore, Copycat, Tailwind, anything like that, I love using on my team, so go for that Prankster Encore, lock him into that, and from there I can just go for a Bug Buzz as he brings in the Dwebble. Dwebble, I don't know if it could have taken this Bug Buzz or not. I do get a crit, but I think unless it was Cussed Up Berry, it wouldn't have been able to do anything to me, so I don't know, might have mattered, maybe not. But in comes the Munchlax once again. I can't do much with Bug Buzz, so just gonna go for that Wish. Get the, you know, recovery to one of my other Pokemon in case I do need it. Not too worried about Illumise, because if I keep it at sort of 50%-ish, I can at least T-Wave the Superior if I need to. So I go out into my Exeggutor. Now, I did expect this, and I called this switch. I thought, right, if I go to Exeggutor, I will get Whirlwinded into my Lopunny. Hey, lo and behold, what are the chances? In comes Lopunny. He was definitely not getting the good luck in this battle, I have to say. Luck was definitely on my side, but go for a Whirlwind. Gonna Whirlwind out the Samurott, get more Stealth Rock damage racked up. In comes the Munchlax again. Copycat, Whirlwind, out you go. Back comes Samurott. Kill that thing off with the Stealth Rock, so Lopunny gets a kill, that's always nice. Unfortunately, the Superior definitely does outspeed, as we've seen before, so I just have to go for a Baton Pass, and then from here, I can get a safe switch into my Monferno. EV like Monferno definitely does not fear anything from Superior, so from here I can just go for a Flamethrower. Now, to be honest, he does have the Munchlax, which can take anything from this Monferno, so I've got to be a little bit careful how I do this, because Munchlax's Body Slams will actually do some pretty good damage to me, and there's always the risk of paralysis, so speaking of risk of paralysis, I go for a Nasty Plot, and it turns out on this turn he does get fully paralyzed, which is definitely unfortunate. He could have rested back up to full, and then I don't know how I would have actually dealt with this thing. Maybe Exeggutor, but it turns out he gets fully paralyzed again, which I definitely feel bad for. Like I said, he could have rested. I would have had to go to a physical attacker, but that speeds up the process. Go for a Flamethrower, take it out from there, and in comes the Superior once again. Dragon Pulse being unstabbed, and probably, I guess Superior doesn't have good special attack anyway, so go for a Flamethrower, and that is going to seal the deal. Take out Superior from there. Now, I think I don't know which Pokemon I lost, but either way, the final score doesn't reflect the actual outcome of the battle, in my opinion. I thought it was a good game nonetheless. We both made good plays, and, you know, I definitely had to be careful switching around my Pokemon to protect, like, Lopunny and, I don't know, Monferno, Exeggutor, so... You know, I thought it was a good game, definitely interesting, and I got to show off a couple of my new sets, so... That Exeggutor, by the way, Nature Power, Wood Hammer, Citrus Berries sub, and HP Ice, just for the random, like, flying types, but... Hope you all enjoyed the match, and with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.